The sound of a happy people celebrating their heritage as a missing piece to their puzzle has been revealed. After 250 long years of disconnect, members of the Temne tribe in Africa traced their roots to the tiny historical sister island of Carriacou to reunite with the generations of their ancestors. Years of research and intense digging has revealed that the Temnes in Carriacou stemmed from the Temne tribe in Sierra Leone, West Africa. And according to officials of Sierra Leone, this is no ordinary reconnection. Though West Africa has links in several Caribbean islands and the US, there has never been a reunion of the Temne tribe. This is a historic moment.
What we have here in Carriacou and or Grenada, Carriacou specifically, it cannot be found anywhere else in the Americas. The fact that we can identify with a particular group of Sierra Leoneans, the Temnes, it's one of the major ethnic groups in our country, but I cannot go anywhere else and find a bunch of Temnes or people that identify with Temne except for Carriacou. And that happens for 8 other nations, if you will, 8 other ethnic groups. So it's a really special thing that you guys have here. I mean, we're actively seeking where Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora may have left their traces or their ancestral links. We look for them and we try to reconnect with them.
The Ministry of Tourism in Sierra Leone, Grenadian historians and the Ministry of Culture in Grenada wasted no time in making the necessary arrangements for the reunion, as this was a huge discovery. It meant a lot for the people of Carriacou to finally learn the source of their rich traditions and practices.
I believe that, having that reunion was very historical for us. What it means now is that Carriacou will build that relationship with Sierra Leone. So they came here, and the plan is that a group from Carriacou will go on to Sierra Leone so that they can have that experience when they get there.
Before we go into the actual reunion in Carriacou, which involves the journey of a delegation from the Temne tribe in Sierra Leone and government officials, let's take a look into some evidence historians found that links our tiny sister isle of Carriacou to the West African tribe. The story began at Bunce Island, a British slave castle in Sierra Leone operated by the London-based firm of Grant Oswald and Company.
We know of 2 plantations specifically, Grand Bay, which was owned by the Mills family. One of the Mills was actually a co-owner of Bunce Island. And then Mount Pleasant, which is owned by Tarleton family for quite a number of years. He was a slave trader as well. The family was slave trading, and they brought enslaved people directly from that area, not Bunce Island. There was another group he was doing from Isle de Los, which is not too far, about 75 miles away. So there's this concentration of people that have a similar culture, similar language, they could understand each other. So there's this concentration in this area in Carriacou of Temne people.
The people who owned Bunce Island, Richard Oswald was the principal owner of a company called Oswald Sargent and Company, or Sargent Oswald and Company. They brought slaves directly from Sierra Leone, Bunce Island, to the United States for a long period of time. So when the French were bought up or were taken out, when the British drove the French away from Carriacou, they bought plantations that the French already owned. The British guys that bought these plantations were direct partners with Richard Oswald, the Englishman who ran Bunce Island in Sierra Leone. And the Temnes were highly sought because they were great. I mean, they had great skills in terms of rice growing, and also they were able to coordinate other plantation slaves, if you will.
So now, this small group of people in Carriacou still identify with the Temne tribe of Sierra Leone. They still call themselves the Temnes, and they celebrate their heritage with a Temne song, dance, and drum routine handed down for centuries. In September, the delegation of Sierra Leone's tourism minister, Paramount Chief, Grenada's culture minister, and other officials from both countries traveled to Carriacou for the reunion. And they felt right at home, as everything they saw, from exhibits, drumming, dancing, and the food, was similar and reminded them of things back at home. Apart from the drumming and chanting, the Temnes in Carriacou have adopted the practice of cooking in big pots on open fire and eating the food on leaves, which they call saraka. In Sierra Leone, the same is done. However, the natives there call it Sara. Here are some highlights of the 3-day Temne reunion in Carriacou, which saw school visits, visits to the museum, Saraka celebrations, the traditional ancestor stable, drumming, dancing, and so much more.
We're hoping that events like this will help people realize that they have this unique connection and they'll want to keep some of this stuff. They'll help pass it on to the children. Because one of the things, Carriacou, in your Timni heritage is passed through your father. But now people may not know because their father may not have told them and stuff like that. So we're hoping that people will go and say, well, yeah, my father was a Timni, or my mom used to dance a Timni dance, you know, so we know what our connect kind of thing. So we're hoping that because of this, people will continue, and we hope to actually do other aspects of the big drum dance.
Folklorists have always known about the Carriacou Temnes since the 1950s, but no one paid attention to their importance for modern Sierra Leoneans until 2011, when 3 scholars went to Carriacou to witness firsthand the Temne heritage practices. It was then the truth was revealed, and researchers Angus Martin, a Grenadian-American historian, Joseph Opala, and Dr. Cynthia Schmidt, the American ethnomusicologist, fit the pieces together and published a book called The Temne Nation of Carriacou, Sierra Leone's Lost Family in Carriacou, which saw a launch during the 3-day reunion celebrations in Carriacou.
And we've traced the specific group, the Temne people, to Carriacou, and I'm one of the authors of this book, which is Temne Nation of Carriacou, and the other 2 authors are Angus Martin, who was from here, and Joe Opala, who was not able to be here. So this was a team effort to put down some of the facts and, from my point of view, the culture and the big drum dance specifically, and how it carries so much history through song.
Masali urged other African tribes to make similar reconnections to keep the African traditions alive.
The Ghanaians are also here in Carriacou. We have the Nigerians, people from Central African Republic. So as we do this, we're hoping that more people would see what we're doing, and we're also actively encouraging them to do the same thing, or even better than what we're doing, so we can reconnect the continent of Africa back to the Caribbean. Or vice versa.
Minister for Culture, Senator Brenda Hood, is pleased that traditions and cultures, though sometimes unknown, once handed down, are kept and practiced. After all, this is the essence of a people.
It's a cultural tourism experience that they're looking for. And it would not be like a one-way, but Grenadians, Carriacouians can go to Sierra Leone and have that experience.
For State of Affairs, I am Rakisha Singh.
This is the Grenadian reality.